Welcome to an extended CORTIME introduction. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up an optimization in SolidWorks using CORTIME. The first thing we need to do is to set up some variables, and we have several ways to do it. The first way will be to go, right-click on Sketch on the design tree, and click on Add Sketch Dimensions as CORTIME variables. That will add all the dimensions inside that sketch as variables. Another option will be to open said sketch and add one by one the dimensions that we want to use. We can click on a dimension, go to the CORTIME window, and add variable. Or we can right-click on the dimension, go down to CORTIME, and add dimension as variable, or use the Add Dimension icon here. Once we have done that, we can close the sketch. Inside the Optimization Variables window, we can change the name of the dimensions, their types, and apply constraints. The value indicates the current value of the dimensions, and we can modify it by hand. Once the dimensions have been set, we can use the build checker. The build checker will tell us if our file rebuilds at every point. As we see, all the boxes are green, so we are good to go. The next step after setting up the variables is to set up the objectives. We can drag and drop them from the Optimization Resources window into the Optimization Objectives window. In this window, we can change their type, their priority, and apply a target when needed. Once we've done that, we can go to Optimize and check the algorithm. In the Optimization Algorithm settings, we can choose the algorithm we want to use. In this example, we will go to the response surface. We can also change the display settings, for example, changing the axes. Once we've done that, we can click on Start and wait for our optimization to finish. Now that the optimization is finished, we can talk about post-processing. We can start by taking a look at our parallel coordinates graph. In here, it pictures our objectives and variables in vertical axes, and the blue lines connecting them correspond to iterations. We can filter on the axes based on our objectives. For example, the minimum factor of safety, we can move it to 2. This now means that every single one of these iterations fulfills the requirement. Our second objective was to reduce the mass, so we can go and check which is the mass we are interested in, generally the lowest. So we can right-click and restore iteration. This will take our model to the point at which we want it. We can also explore our design to check different models that still fulfill our requirement. Now, we can also take a look at 2D and 3D graphs. For example, mapping each objective against each other. We can also zoom in on the graph and select iterations. If we want a 3D graph, we can add a third axis. We can zoom in and out to check the relationship between them. If you want to keep discovering what CORTIME has to offer, you can click on the Help button to access the Help section. Inside the Help section, you can see YouTube tutorials, fully explained examples that you can access and use, and of course, the CORTIME documentation. Visit CORTIME.com for any further questions.